So Leeds United travel to Derby County, another lunchtime kick-off, 12:05 this weekend. Full exclusive FM commentary for you on BBC Radio Leeds 92.4 FM and Freeview channel 719. Mr Pope has disappeared to Paris. How rude. So Gareth Jones will be describing all the action for us this weekend. Let's start with the Leeds team news then. Some discussion about whether Lewis Cook and Luke Murphy could return.
Yeah, Rosler seemed to hint that he was seriously considering those two coming straight back into the starting 11 for the game against Derby. Cook has been missed, hasn't he, after that 3-match ban, and Murphy had a great impact off the bench against Sheffield Wednesday. Two players that are comfortable with the ball at their feet, and what I particularly like about them, in the opposition half, are happy to look up, see what's in front of them, drive into that open space and give the opposition a bit of different things to think about, because dare I say it, did Leeds get a little bit predictable against Sheffield Wednesday at points, just chipping the balls up to Wood. So I think at least one of those will come in. It's Adeyemi and Phillips that have to worry about their positions. I think Phillips will lose his spot because he didn't have the greatest of games against Wednesday. Although I think some of the criticism from some fans was a bit too harsh and a bit overcritical. So it's whether Adeyemi stays in and whether Rosler thinks we're away from home against a decent team at a venue we haven't won at for a very long time. Do I need that extra defensive mind, that extra bit of energy and athleticism? We know Cook can play the same role, but I think Adeyemi is a little bit more defensive-minded. So I think we'll see one of Cook or Murphy play alongside Adeyemi, with the other one coming on.
Formation-wise then, what does he do? Because he's talked about going to Derby with no fear. Leeds have a terrible record away against Derby. Uwe Rosler has a good record for his teams. So does he go and try and put them under a bit of pressure, stick with this 4-4-2 with Wood and Antonucci up front, or does he revert back and go 4-3-3?
Well, we're all looking at Rosler to see exactly what kind of coach he is, and I think this is going to be another insight into his mentality because, as I already mentioned, and you've just said, their terrible record against Derby on the whole, but particularly at the iPro Stadium. Team that started slowly but we know has lots of quality, so is he tempted to go back to one up front and flood that midfield like he did against Reading, work defensively although they had nothing up front whatsoever, or does he do what he did against Bristol City, which almost got the win, and against Sheffield Wednesday? I hope he goes with two up front and smells Derby's blood, because they have started slowly. They are there for the taking. We're not talking about a world-class team they're coming up against, so I hope he goes for it. Leeds appear to be closer to clicking into top gear in this formation, the one up front, and those partnerships are starting to gel. So I hope he goes there. Looking back at it, Reading was a good away point, but we did come away going, what if they had attacked them a little bit more? And I don't want to be coming away from the iPro thinking the same thing, what if?
And it has been like that throughout the start of the season, although Leeds and Derby in exactly the same position. Derby have drawn a load of matches as well. Is it getting to a point now that this is a must-win game for Uwe Rosler? Because he said time and time again, after the initial really hectic few opening weeks of the season, judge me on how we get on against Derby, because then we'll have had a full week's rest, full week's fitness preparation. This will be a real test of, as you say, what he's all about. So does it start to become a must-win game for him?
I think the way he's talking and the way people will be feeling, particularly when you've got the international break and those 2 weeks to sit on that result, if it's not a win, then there will be grumbles going about. I'm sure I'll have a few meetings with Massimo Cellino, who won't be happy with not having a win at this stage of the season. On the flip side, you'd say, well, a point away at Derby County wouldn't be a bad result either, and particularly where this championship is stretching out. I bet half the games this weekend are draws again, like they seem to have been throughout the first couple of weeks of the season. So, yes, I think they need to go and be positive, and I think if they go there, give it their all, and obviously win, great, but if they put in a good performance in a draw, fantastic. If they put in a poor performance in a draw, or heavens forbid a defeat, then I think pressure will already start mounting on him a little bit from both within the club and from the fans who have expected a better start.
It's long overdue. Hopefully this weekend will be the weekend that Leeds United finally win away at Derby. Join us from 11 o'clock, BBC Radio Leeds, with me, Gareth Jones, and Noel Whelan. You can text and tweet us Leeds fans right throughout the game, 81333 for text messages. Start those with WYS. You can tweet us as well at WYS Daily. So on air from 11 o'clock, and then exclusive FM commentary on 92.4 FM and Freeview channel 719. Kick off 12:05. Don't be late. We'll see you at 11 o'clock.